I was under a spiritual attack when my mother was passing away, when she was transitioning. And I did not realize it until now. My mother passed away about 6 or 7 years ago. For some reason, I cannot remember the date, but she passed away about 6 or 7 years ago, and I keep having these recurring dreams that she has passed away again, and that I'm trying to make it back to her before she passes away. And before I could even make it back, she either has already passed away or she is passing. And so this particular dream I had this morning, she had already passed away and her body wasn't there. And so I ran to the house and she wasn't there. And I remember just falling down on the ground and just crying. And this dream was different than the other ones because I cried very, very hard on that one. And so when I woke up, I asked God, I'm like, why do I keep having these dreams, you know? And so God said, you haven't released everything yet. You need to release the venom and turn it into something beautiful. And I thought, well, I felt like I released it and turned it into something beautiful because I wrote a book about it. But the thing about it is, when I wrote this book, I read it as I wrote it, but I've never read this book all the way through since I published it. Then I took it off the shelves on Amazon because I felt like Amazon was doing weird stuff, you know, having people to sell it, and I just didn't understand what was going on, and it was on different people's websites, and people were charging way more than what I was charging, and it was crazy. So I had took it off of Amazon for a while, and I just recently put it back on there, but I only put it back on there because I've been trying to release another book that I wrote. And so when I saw that, I was just, you know, when I saw republished or whatever, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and republish it. Just, you know, not realizing that I will be doing this. So today, I'm going to read this book page for page, and I'm going to release the venom that came with caring for my mom. And I just want to say that this could be trigger warnings for people that may have dealt with it or have a familiar situation in my story. I did not want to take care of my mother. I didn't even want to be around my mother. My mother was a beautiful soul for sure. She helped many, many people. But I didn't like the way my mother treated me. And I felt like she treated 2 of my siblings better than she treated the other 2. And so I was kind of tired of how she acted. I was tired of how she treated 2 of my children. My oldest son and my oldest daughter was always like a favorite of hers. But when it came down to my younger 2, she just acted real weird about it. And it really pissed me off one day. She was watching my 3 younger children, and I went to go pick them up, and I was a little bit earlier than what I normally would. And when I walked up to my mother's door, she lived in an apartment building that was enclosed. So the door was inside the building. So when I walked up, I saw my 2 younger children. They were like 4 or 5 years old, sitting outside of her door with the door closed, and the door was locked. And it pissed me. I said, what are y'all doing out here? Like, where's Grandma? And they was like, Grandma put us out. And I'm like, what do you mean she put you out? I was livid with my mother. And it was just confirmation that how she treated me and now she's treating them a certain type of way, it was just confirmation of how I had been feeling. And so I was pissed with my mother. I was so fucking angry with her. And I told her she would not see my children again. And I meant that for about a week. I didn't really have the talk with my mom about how much that bothered me, but things just kind of festered inside of me because it's like she didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? She was always talking about me to a family member and always making it seem like I was doing this or that. Some things I probably wasn't even doing. I don't even know what she said to them, but some things I probably wasn't even doing. I have a past, and in my past, I stole from my mother when I was younger, twice. I stole from her when I was in elementary, and I also stole from her when I was in middle school. Elementary, obviously, was more like an innocent kind of thing, but I still knew better. Middle school, I didn't know that it was hers, her money. I thought it was my brother's money. My brother used to be in the streets and used to get money, and he used to hide certain things. He would hide liquor, he would hide money, he would hide drugs, you know. And so when I reached out, the money was in a coat downstairs in the basement. And so when I reached in there, I don't even know what made me go in the pocket, but when I reached in there, I pulled out like a wad of money, and I was like, oh, I'm about to go spend this money, you know. I was in a gang at the time, the ARP Hustlers. I was in a gang at the time. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, if that makes any sense to y'all, but I was in a girl gang at the time, and the thing was we had to wear, I think it was like white classic Reeboks. We got to get some hard Levi's, and we had to get a white t-shirt with our name spray painted on it. And so I was one of the ones that was like living in poverty, so my mother wasn't about to give me out no money like that, you know. So when I felt it, I was like, I'm about to go buy my stuff. Well, I ended up hearing my mom and dad arguing about it, and I gave it back. And my mom was so disappointed in me, and my dad was disappointed in me. So to the family, I'm the family thief. You know what I'm saying? I did it when I was in elementary, and now here I am in middle school, you know. So, anyways, so my dad took me to jail. Like, he took me to jail and made me talk to one of the detectives, and it made it seem like they was gonna take me to jail. And then my father whooped me for the first time. I never stole from my mother again. And I'm gonna be talking about it in this book, but I felt like those particular things and me selling drugs, you know, when I became a little bit more older, because I didn't want to take from my mom, it was one of the reasons why I started selling. My dad wasn't around. My mom was struggling. She had a new boyfriend. Nobody was buying me anything. I was the last one in high school. And so I started selling drugs, you know, to get me stuff. And that was frowned upon as well. So now I'm the thief, the drug dealer, the daughter that was having children out of wedlock, and, you know, 3 baby daddies, and, you know, so they just like deemed me to be this person that I wasn't. And so, I mean, I did the acts, but I wasn't the person, if that makes sense. And so they just had this negative stance about me. And so when I was taking care of my mom, they really gave it to me. This is part 1. I hope you stay tuned to part 2 as I begin to read this book. Good day to you.